Well, next, let's queer up trans rights. Director of Transgender Equality leaves Equality Florida. Nikole Parker was named Director of Transgender Equality in 2021 after being with the organization for 2 other years. But now she is leaving the organization after 4 years of service. Parker, an Orlando native, has been in the nonprofit sector for nearly a decade. Her passion is advocacy and encouraging open dialogue about transgender and non-binary inclusion in all facets of society. Before joining Equality Florida, Parker was with onePULSE Foundation as Director of Stakeholder and Community Relations. She was the primary liaison between the foundation, victims' families, survivors, and first responders of the Pulse Nightclub tragedy. At Equality Florida, she was fighting at the front line with all her might against bigotry and hate. In her announcement to Queer News Tonight, she talks about the honor of being able to work at a respected political advocacy group like Equality Florida. Parker will be accepting the responsibility at the LGBTQ Center Orlando as their Chief Operating Officer on January 2nd. Angelique Godwin will be replacing Parker at Equality Florida as the Trans Action Special Events Coordinator. As a Black trans woman and drag artist, Godwin hopes to bring an important perspective to this fight. In this new role, Godwin will be leading an in-person, statewide convention of transgender leaders planned next year. Becoming the top leader at Orlando's LGBTQ Center makes her one of the very few LGBTQ community centers to be led by a trans woman. You know, and I think this sort of touches on what we were talking about, generational change and turnover. You know, obviously end of year is a good time for people to leave jobs, start new ones. So I'm hopeful for both organizations, the organization she's going to, and I'm hopeful for the new leader as well. Yeah,
you know, something that you had touched on, the other story that we talked about earlier was about just how hard it is to work at organizations like this, right? Thankless. I mean, like, it's thankless. No one's going to come and give you a little thank you nugget because, like, you know, you did your job, right? It doesn't work that way. And, you know, I was blessed enough to have Miss Nikole Parker on the Faye What Show early on, I want to say like 2 years ago. And, you know, her vision was clear. She wanted to make safe spaces for Black trans people. And she's done that. You know what I mean? How wonderful is it for you to leave a position, but know that you attained the challenge. You lived up to what you wanted to accomplish, right? That's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. Another thing, you know, like we were saying, so when you work in a nonprofit, my God, like they put you through the ringer. You know, I have many close friends of mine work at nonprofits. And unfortunately, because they put you through the ringer, so many leave and then go to not nonprofits, right? And we need you in those nonprofits. We need you to fight for us. We need you to fight for the voiceless. So I say thank you to Nikole Parker for doing her service for us, right? And then following up by going to going to another organization where your tools and your skills will be used and utilized to its fullest, and you continue to help our community.
Yes. Right? Sure. Exactly.
Well, I also wish Parker and Godwin well, because as you said, the turnover rate at these agencies has got to be higher than even straight agencies. So, so thank you for what you did.
Absolutely.